A few days ago, I was deeply hurt to find out my younger brother, along with 103 others, tested positive for COVID-19. He was an inmate at an Ontario Correctional Institute in Brampton, where he was failed by those in charge to be protected and kept safe during this worldwide pandemic. To make matters worse, these positive inmates have now been forced into isolation as a way of handling the situation. At the beginning of this pandemic, schools were shut down, businesses closed, social distancing enforced, gatherings limited, and so much more. But no or few changes were made in detention centers. Officers with reasonable conscience requested for PPE, which is personal protection equipment, and they were refused. The Ontario Correctional Institute in Brampton is dorm style, 5 to 6 beds side by side. This did not change during pandemic. Everyone ate together in the hall. Inmates and guards continued regular activities and games together. Things did not change until 3 guards tested positive in mid-April. Only 2 weeks ago, an inevitable outbreak was then declared. The Ministry of Attorney General failed inmates and their own staff. It is their duty to protect. Yet, out of 109 inmates, 79 were victim to COVID. Basically everyone, along with 25 of their own staff. This is a failure at its worst. The jail has since been closed down. Positive inmates have been moved to Toronto South Detention Center and are in isolation. 1 person per cell, no TV, no reading material, no socializing, nothing. These traumatized victims are granted only a 20-minute phone call every other day and a 10-minute shower every other day. The remaining 23 plus hours are spent locked and completely isolated in a cell. Not for punishment, not for bad behavior, but because those in power failed to adequately prepare for a known pandemic, while the rest of society took precautions. In other words, they don't give a fuck. Not about inmates, not about elderly, not about the frontline workers, not about those who cost and take money from society. Not enough is being done. I lay in bed wondering, what does it do to a person? How does it feel to find out you're positive for an illness that can potentially kill you and then be shoved in a box for days at a time with your own thoughts and realizations of the situation eating you alive? It is not fair and it is not right. There are so many unanswered questions, so many comments to be made, so many things to be taken into consideration. Who is the voice for these inmates? Who is going to speak up for people who are overlooked by our government? Who is going to stand up for what's right? We are able and we should. I am able and I will. The fate of these affected inmates and staff is unknown. This is a matter of life and death. This is not some seasonal illness that can just be shaken off after a few days. This infectious virus has taken the lives of millions. My family is devastated. Nothing can ever be done to make this right. There is no price on life. It is something that's invaluable. Justice should be served for those whose lives have not been taken seriously. My name is Alicia Angel Stewart, and I will not sit aside while my brother is mistreated. Justice.